Mr. Goose by Judy Sarah. And then the poem I did was Hush Little Monster. Hush Little Monster, don't you warn, Papa's gonna give you the Frankenstein. If you and Frank can't get on, Papa's gonna send you to Old King Kong. If you don't like that big gorilla, you might prefer his friend Godzilla. If giant lizards make you scared, maybe you'll be happy with the grizzly bear. If life in a bear cave isn't fun, why not visit an alien? If flying through space upsets your tummy, just come home with your papa and your mommy. And so I did this for the dad, and then this for the mom, and then this was Old King Kong. This was the bear. This is the Godzilla. This is like the lizard. This is the baby. And this is Frankenstein, and this is the alien. And then the poem I did was an acrostic poem, and it was creatures. C is creepy. R is reckless. E is evil. A is angry. T is terrible. U is ugly. R is rat. E is eerie. And S is scary.
I read The New Kid on the Block by Jack Paletsky. And my favorite poem was Homework, Oh Homework. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. I wish I could wash you away in the sink. Oh, if only a bomb would explode you to bits. Homework, oh homework, you're giving me fits. I'd rather take baths with a man-eating shark or wrestle a lion alone in the dark. Eat spinach and liver, pet 10 porcupines, then tackle the homework my teacher assigns. Homework, oh homework, you're last on my list. I simply can't see why you even exist. If you disappeared, it would tickle me pink. Homework, oh homework, I hate you, you stink. And I drew homework and bombs right there. And like a shark in a bathtub, and he just ate him. And I did my best to draw like spinach, but I'm not sure I did the best job. And for my poems, I wrote about my cats. And my cat Kringle, I did Haiku, yes. Kringle is awesome. She is cool and calico. Also, she is rad, and that's a picture of her. And this is Saga. My cat's name is Saga. She attacks my other cat. She is Siamese. And this is Saga, and that's Kringle, and they're fighting there. And that's my presentation.
I read a book. It didn't really have a title, but it was by Emily Dickinson. So my favorite poem, it didn't have a title too. So B, I'm expecting you, was saying yesterday to somebody you know that you were due. The frogs got home last week, are settled and at work. Birds mostly back, the clover warm and thick. You'll get my letter by the 17th reply, or better be with me. Yours, Lie. So, and
Wait, what did you just say?
well, this.
What is that?
It's just like poetry by for young people, for like our age. So.
What's that picture of?
A bee, because it was kind of, the picture in the book was a bee, like reading the letter, so I did a bee. And this is mine. I did an acrostic poem. I did Emily Dickinson. So, eeks, mildly fun. It was creative. Likely people will enjoy it. You're awesome, Emily Dickinson. Decorative pictures. It was filled with poems. Click on it, you'll be kicked down and relax and read. Inside, you'll feel good. Nice you are reading this book. Soon you will tell everyone. Oh my goodness, you'll say, no one will really not like this. And there's a picture of like a tree and there's a tree on the cover of the book because this poem's about the book.
Did you draw that tree all by yourself?
Well, we traced. Well, for my book talk, for my poem, I did Today Was Not My Day at All, from the book Rolling in the Aisles. The poem was written by Jack Paletsky. Today was not my day at all. Today was not my day. Everything went wrong today in almost every way. This morning I was menaced by a troop of marching ants. I brushed my teeth with shaving cream. I split my brand new pants. I smashed my only glasses and the key snapped in the lock. The toaster didn't toast the toast. I walked into a doorknob. Something squirmed inside my shoe. I found an ugly beetle at the bottom of my stew. A bird I didn't recognize flew down and pecked my nose. A chimpanzee on roller skates sped by and squashed my toes. I wonder if I'm under some unlucky sort of curse. Today's the 12th and Thursday. Tomorrow may be worse. It said that because tomorrow, in his view, would be Friday the 13th. And then I got a picture of an ant because it said he got menaced by a troop of marching ants. And then I draw a chimpanzee on roller skates because it said a chimpanzee squashed his toes. And then I draw a beetle because he said he found a beetle in his stew. And then glasses because he said I smashed my own glasses. And then the poem that I wrote was Love in School. School, school, I love school. I think being there is cool. I like music and I like art. Sometimes I feel very smart. I always like to go to lunch because I get to talk a bunch. My teachers are so nice and sweet. They also are very neat. Lattice is easy, but partial products is not. I need to practice my math facts a lot. I got a picture of school because the title's Love in School. And then I drawed a lattice problem. It's very long. And then I drawed like a picture, like for I like art and music, so I just drawed that picture. And that's it.
Oh,
I read the book Animal Poems. It was by John Aiken, the poster was by me. My favorite poem was from the book. I thought you could like do it. I didn't know that you could do it from anyone, so I just did. It was called Three with Wings. Follow flowers now, to their branches returning. I see butterflies on a dry dead branch. A crow has been settling down. Nightfall is autumn. Nothing but a song descending, and after that, no skylark is there. Okay, so my poem is called Bunnies. I see a bunny, no one, no two, no three. I see a group of bunnies. The bunnies are gone, I miss them so bad. I wish they are come back, but it's winter. The sky is gray and the flowers are gone. So for this, I did a tree first because like it's basically almost spring, and then like it goes to kind of like a fall. And then I did like a bunny in the spring, and then I did a bunny poking out. I kind of used the white, but you can't really see it, and it's like winter, so I did the bunny tail poking out and his head poking out. And that's my presentation.
Okay, so I read the book Runny Babbitt by Shel Silverstein, and just before I read this poem, the book, it switches the two first letters of the two words, so instead of bunny, rabbit, it's Runny Babbitt, so makes sense. And the poster is by me. And so the poem that I chose is Runny and Danky. Danky Udall 10 to 1, piting on a roni. He stuck a heather in his fat and mauled it cacaroni. He met Runny Babbitt hopping where the stone was grony. Runny on his piddle laws, Danky on his pony. Said Runny, oh dear Danky, I think a born this with me. Said Danky, oh poor Runny, rump off and jet here with me. And so they towed off into Brown to buy some fresh bologna. Danky Udall and his friend piting on the roni. So I just got some pictures of horses and a picture of a horse. And the poem that I made up, it's Penguins on Ice, or Penguins on Ice. whatever you want to call it. Wouldn't it be nice if there were penguins on Pice? They help when they slide and they waddle on sides. Wouldn't it be nice if there were penguins on Pice? They fire and go sliding on the white drows and ice. Wouldn't it be nice if there were penguins on Pice? You would love them. You would love them. You would love them. You would. But is there such a thing? Wouldn't it be nice if there were penguins on Pice? They daddle and live until nighttime. Wouldn't it be nice if there were penguins on Pice? So I got some pictures of penguins, and I drew a picture of a penguin, and that's my present.
Was As Soon as Fred Gets Out of Bed by Jack Pulaski. As soon as Fred gets out of bed, his underwear goes on his head. His mother laughs, "Don't put it there, it has no place for underwear." But near his ears, above his brains, Fred's is where Fred's underwear remains. And the poem I made up was Taste by Casey. Salty, sweet, bitter, sour, one sweet meal for every hour. Bitter, sour, salty, sweet, most stuff is yummy, but don't try your feet. And that's my favorite.
That's the book, Pizza the Size of the Sun. And it was really weird because the first letter on the book, it wasn't capitalized. And the poem I chose is A Frog, a Stick, and it's by Jack Pulaski. A frog, a stick, a stell, a stone, a paper clip, a chicken bone, a feather quill, a piece of string, a ladybug, a beetle wing, a greenish rat of bubble gum, assorted keys, and cookie crumbs, a maple leaf, a candy bar, a rubber band, a model car, potato chips and soggy fries, plus something I can't recognize, a broken watch, a plastic cow, that's what's in my pockets now. And I drew a frog with his tongue going on a stick with a fly. And then I did haiku poems by the Rugemer, and I did 3. My first one is Earth. Earth gives us food and air, but now it is polluted. We need to save it. And then I did one about hockey. Tweet, the game is on. I shoot a very hard shot. I hear the siren. And then I did one about my family. We played together. I love my family lots. They make me happy. And then I drew a picture of an earth, hockey sticks, and my family.
So I did The Dream Keeper for my poem and other poems by Langston Hughes. And the poem that I liked in that book was Minstrel Man, because my mouth is wide with laughter and my throat is deep with song. Deep with song. You do not think I suffer after I have held my pain so long. Because my mouth is wide with laughter, you do not hear my inner cry. Because my feet, turn it around, are gay with dancing, you do not know I died. And then I made a poem by myself, and it's called The Sky, and it's by me, of course. When I look into the sky, I see blue, sometimes I see gray, but sometimes I see black, boring black. And that's what
I read the book Football Fever chosen by Don Foster because I had a bunch of different poems by different poets. The book I chose was England versus Germany. The men were dug in trenches and snow lay on the ground. Machine guns, sandbags, and barbed wire all around. The Englishman in one trench, the Russian in another. On Christmas Day, an hour far from home and mother. 2 nations in conflict, we call it the First World War, with weapons of destruction never seen before. But though the men were enemies, it was Christmas Day after all. Some joined in singing hymn, and some began to call, "Happy Christmas, Tommy. Happy Christmas to you too, Fritz." And some even meant to swap presents as a friendly feeling grew. Then something remarkable happened that the generals had planned. The enemy soldiers shook hands in the deadly no man's land. Then something extraordinary happened. It was Christmas Day after all. The soldiers put down the rifles and began to play football. We don't know who won the toss, or even if they tossed. We don't know how long the match was, or who won or lost. We don't know who played center, forward, or who took the goalie's role. We don't know for that matter if they bothered to have a goal. We just know some men were in khaki and some men were in gray. Stop the war and kicked the ball in the snow on Christmas Day. It could have ended in the hatred, killing and the pain. But the high command's deared it must never happen again. So the men hid once more with machine guns behind sandbags and barbed wire around. Instead of the generals calling Happy Christmas, they called Open Fire. Two of the men who had swapped presents when they met, shaken hands and smiled, met again, and one stabbed the other to death with a bayonet. And my other poem,
By who?
well, this was by Charles Thomas. My other poem was NFL Draft. First comes Colts, then comes Cleveland Brown. They must pick wisely or they'll fall to the ground. Then comes the Vikings third. They must also choose well. They end up eating cheese curds and they right in the cell. Then the Rams and so on might soon all be gone if what we call the NFL was safe all and ring the bell. And I drew these pictures. That's Broncos. That's a football. Here is Vikings. That's football. And my other picture, it rarely had any room, but if you look closely, there's a gun with
I
it.
read the book called Poetry for Young People, and it was Carl Stanstead, I think. Sandburg. And my favorite poem in there was Arithmetic. It's also a very long one. Arithmetic is where numbers fly like pigeons in and out of your head. Arithmetic tells you how many you win or lose if you know how many you have before you lost or won. Arithmetic is 7-11, all good children go to heaven. Or 5-6, bundle of sticks. Oh, P.S. This says arithmetic a lot. Arithmetic is numbers you squeeze from your head to your hand, to your pencil, to your paper, till you get your answer. Arithmetic is where the answer is right and everything is nice. And you can look out the window and see the blue sky, or the answer is wrong and you have to start all over and try again and see how it comes out this time. If you take a number and double it again and then double it a few more times, the number gets bigger and bigger and goes higher and higher, and only arithmetic can tell you what the number is when you decide to quit doubling. Arithmetic is where you have to multiply and you carry the multiplication table around in your head and hope you don't lose it. If you have 2 animal crackers, one good, one bad, and you eat one and the striped zebra with streaks all over him eats the other, how many will you have if somebody offers you 5, 6, 7, and this part I really don't understand, and you say no, 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 and you say nay, 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 and you say nix, nix, nix. If you ask your mom for 1 fried egg and she gives you 2 and you eat both of them, who is better at arithmetic, you or your mom? That's the poem.
Oh.
And now the other side. This is a poem I made up. I like
Wait, what's it called?
called math. I like math. I'm really good at it. When I do math, my brain is a factory. It's like a race for the world, win or lose. That's why math is the best subject I choose. So I did a world, then there's me on the top. I'm doing a pretty tough math problem. 7 to the power of 3 equals 343. That's my
So
presentation.
I read Love That Dog by Sharon Creech, and the poem I picked was Dog. Under a maple tree, the dog lies down, lolls his limp tongue, yawns, rests his long chin carefully between front paws, looks up, alert, chops with heavy jaws at a slow fly, blinks, rolls on his sides, sighs, closes his eyes, sleeps all afternoon in his loose skin. And then the poem, well, the pictures I did for this one was a dog. I got that one off clip art. And then I drew a dog. So, yeah. And then the poem I did was an acrostic poem for Minnesota. Marvelous, incredible, number 1, never bad, excellent, super, outstanding, terrific, and always good. So I got that picture off clip art. It's just like a picture of Minnesota with the loon, the lady slipper, and I think that's a
fled. And then I drew the weather in Minnesota. And then I just got another picture of the bird. So that's all.
My poem book was Color Me a Rhyme by Jane Yolen, and my favorite poem that she wrote was Brown. And here it is. In this brown desert, only earth matters. There are no soft hills, no folding land, only the hard silence. Here jigsaw shapes turn and break to a crust. By wind and sun, explode a great puzzle. Are we that earth across which runs an occasional shadow, or are we the shadow? And then I did 2 haikus. My first one was vision. White empty paper, black lines fill open space. Create your vision. And then my second one was hosta. Tiny arms reach up. Sun, rain, earth, look after sprout. Fresh new life unfolds. And then for my pictures, I don't have a picture for vision, but for this is like a desert with cracks and a tree and another tree in the sky. And then this is a hosta coming out of the ground. And that's what I did.
Okay, so I read the book Heartbeat by Sharon Creech, and my favorite was Bare Feet. We always run bare feet, Max and I, because we like the feel of the ground beneath us. Gritty dirt, smoothies, country twins, polished covers. Even when it's cold, we run on the hard frozen path, our bare soles slapping down. Even when it snows, which is hardly ever, our toes tingling, our feet red and alive. Some people think we are a little bit crazy, running barefoot through rain, mud, and snow. But it doesn't feel crazy to us. It feels like what we do. And it's one of the things I like best about Max. That he will run barefoot with me. So I did like bare feet in the snow, mud, rain. And I did cheese by Eva. I like cheese, you like cheese, we like cheese. You and me and you, cheddar soup every day. Wish I were a mouse who ate cheese every day. So do you, so do I. Love cheese, you and I. So, wait, rhyme. I did Swiss cheese, a mouse. I did another mouse eating cheese. I did a mouse slingshotting into cheese. I did a mouse eating cheese.
Did you draw all of that freehand?
Yes. I read the book Falling Up by Shel Silverstein, and I chose the poem Falling Up. Tripped on my shoelace and I fell up. Up over the rooftop. Up over the town. Up past the treetops. Up over the mountains. Up where the colors wanted to sound. But it got me so dizzy when I looked around, I got sick to my stomach and I threw down. And then I drew a picture of the person with their shoelace and their shoe down there, because that's what it was. Then a bunch of houses. And then I did an acrostic poem called Trampoline by Hannah. Try to not so much, very sack up. Very because I am. Maybe I can do a flip, playing on the trip is fun. Over and over I flip. Laughing with friends is fun. I like how high I fly in the sky. Now I'm tired out. Eating can make my energy up. And then I drew a picture of a random person jumping on a trampoline. And a bunch of other trampolines with grass. And I just drew a sky.
So my book talk is, I forgot the book. Like I was gonna show the book, the real book, but I forgot it. And I forget the title. I think it was a Shel Silverstein book. I think it was, I don't know. But the poem I choose was Something Missing by Shel Silverstein, and the book talks by me. I remember to put on my socks. I remember to put on my shoes. I remember to put on my tie that was painted in beautiful purples and blues. I remember to put on my coat to look perfectly grand at the dance. Yet I feel there's something I may have forgot. What is it? What is it? And so that's it. And then I did 2 haikus. My first one is trees swinging in the wind. First green, then red, yellow, and brown when it gets colder. And then my second one, I couldn't think of one, so I just came up with this when I was doing my TTT. Spelling words. Spelling words are good. Spelling words are fantastic. You learn from spelling. And that's my book.
So I read the works of Edgar Allan Poe, and my poem was El Dorado. Gaily benight, a gallant knight in sunshine and in shadow had journeyed long, singing a song in search of El Dorado. But he grew old, this knight so bold, and o'er his heart a shadow fell as he found no spot of ground that looked like El Dorado. And as his strength failed him at length, he met a pilgrim shadow. Shadow, he said, where can it be, this land of El Dorado? Over the mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadows. Ride, boldly ride, the shadow replied, if you seek for El Dorado. And I just drew some gold stuff. And then for my own poem, I wrote, if you give your dog some food, her head will start to bobble. And after you scoop the food into the bowl, she'll gobble, gobble, gobble. If you give your dog some food, she'll expect you'll take her on a walk. You'll take her on a walk, she'll expect it's longer than a block. If you take your dog on a walk, she'll start to be bored. And when your dog is bored, she'll scratch the door. And that was my presentation.
So I did the book Falling Up, and I picked my favorite poem was Complaining Jack. This morning my old Jack in the box popped out and wouldn't get back in the box. Hey, there's a This morning my old Jack in the box popped out and wouldn't get back in the box. He's cried, hey, there's a tack in the box, and it's cutting me through and through. There is also a crack in the box, and I never find a snack in the box, and I hear quack in the box, 'cause a duck lives here too. Complain is all he did. Finally I had to close the lid, and then I just drew a picture of like the duck, and then he's popping out, and so yeah, that's like Jack in the Box, because I copied off the book, but yeah, sorry, just had a little trouble the first time. So the poem I made up was I Cannot Wash the Floor Today by me, and so my poem is I cannot wash the floor today because I got stabbed by hay. I cannot wash the floor today because I have too much things to do today. I cannot wash the floor today. No, wait, what did you say? Saturday, I'm going out to play, but I can still not wash the floor today. And then I just drew a bucket, like dripping water, because, like, you know, a lot of things, some poems have a technique of making the pictures look sloppy and stuff like that, so I'm pretty much just doing it because kids aren't the neatest, so they just, like, drop the bucket of water on the floor and some of it spills out, and then he's just like, I'm going out to play. So yeah, and then there's just like a mop, and then there's like pants scrubbing thing. So that's my book talk presentation.
Okay, so I read the book Everything on It by Shel Silverstein, and the poem I chose from that book were The One Who Invented Trick or Treat. Yes, I invented trick or treat so you could fill your mouths with sweets. Candy bars and lemon drops, marshmallows and Tootsie Pops, butterscotch and bubble gum. Hold out your hand, they'll give you some. Sour ball, chocolate kisses, jujubes, sour balls and jelly beans. Have a cake, some cookies too. Take a couple, grab a few. Peppermint sticks and Mary Jane's, licorice whips and candy canes. Slurp some soda, munch a pie. Don't let those M&Ms go by. Chew that toffee, munch those treats, get that caramel in your teeth. Then come see me, I'll be here. I'm your friendly dentist dear. And then the picture, the pictures I chose, that's just like a little like salt water taffy. And then that's a sticker of, you know, those like candy machines where you put your quarter in and then you turn. Those are another like just little pieces of candy. That looks like a Tootsie Pop. Those are
Jelly beans?
that's a jelly bean, and those are some of those
Gumdrops?
Gumdrops. That's a gumball machine. That's the version of their lollipop. And that's this is butterscotch. This is bubble gum, and then just two more gumball machines. Okay. And then my poem I did was a lacrostic poem for Countryside by me. C, caring classmates, O, outstanding, U, unique teachers, unique and nice teachers, T, trustworthy, R, respectful, Y, youthful, S, successful, I, incredible, D, dynamic, and E, energetic. And then that's like a paw, since the Cougars, like the paw. And then those are kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth. Kindergarten, first, second, third, fifth, and then the poster is white. I was going to get it colored, but white for fourth grade since I'm in fourth grade. And that's my presentation.
And my favorite poem was, it was named, there's a whole section called It Could Be Verse. So it's like every poem, like, I'll just read you this one. So, Eeny, meeny, and miny, mo, caught a tiger with their toe. The tiger hollered, they wouldn't let go. No more eeny, meeny, or miny, mo. By Amy Krause Rosenfeld. Okay, so that's like I tried to draw a mouse. That's like something holding onto its tail, and he's like, yoo-hoo! Then like he's like doing a headstand because he's so happy. And my other poem was called Worms by Rich Clark. So, slimy, gooey, wiggly worms help you catch fish. Yummy, gummy worms, ucky, wuckily worms. All sorts of worms. Waxworms, night crawlers, angleworms, small ones, fat ones, big ones, and long ones. But my favorite are the gummy ones because they're the yummy ones. So, and then I drew a picture of like a worm. And it's a smiley face because of
Okay,
the gummy.
so the book that I did for my poetry book was Something Big Has Been Here. And the poem that I chose was I'm Much Too Tired to Play Tonight by Jack Paletsky. And then, yeah, and the drawings in the book were by James Stevenson. I'm much too tired to play tonight. I'm much too tired to talk. I'm much too tired to pet the dog or take him for a walk. I'm much too tired to bounce a ball. I'm much too tired to sing. I'm much too tired to try to think about a single thing. I'm much too tired to laugh tonight. I'm much too tired to smile. I'm much too tired to watch TV or read a little while. I'm much too tired to drink my milk or even nod my head, but I'm not nearly tired enough to have to go to bed. Sleep. Okay, and then my drawing is this person in his pajamas, or outfit, and then he's thinking, must not sleep. Then that's what he wants to do, but his body wants to go to bed. And that's that poem. Then my other poem, I did an acrostic poem, and I did friendship. And for each letter, I did the color up here. So friends are for everyone. Then so my picture is, well, yeah, I'll go over pictures last. Respect is what friends should give to you. And yeah, because everybody should have friends and respect. And it's fun with 2 or more, because it is. And it's fun! Never stop making them. Yeah, because you should never stop making friends. During hard times, they are there. Yeah. So, then, sup, buddy? Happy days forever! Imagination is king for your friend and you. Politeness is key for long, long friendships. Then, so my picture for this one is you, and then him or her. So you equal friendship. Yeah, friend. Then I did for like the yellow pride thingy for respect, for a care value, and then I did really happy guy for endless fun. Then for never stop making them, I do a bunch of friends that people. Then I did for during hard times they were there. I drew someone sad, and then his friend saying, "Hey, wait up!" and trying to cheer him up. Then I said this guy saying, "Sup, buddy?" because they're like friends. Then happy days forever. The guy's happy, and then plus forever. And then I drew a crown for imagination is king. And then politeness, I did politeness is the best. Woohoo! That's another guy that's happy. And that's my presentation.
I read the book A Pizza the Size of the Sun by Jack Prelutsky, and the poem I did, I do not wish I go to school. I would go to school. I do not wish to go to school, insisted Sarah Sue, and mother, if you make me, I will eat a worm or two. Do you mean worms like these, my dear? Her mother firmly said. I got them in the garden. They're extremely long and red. They're both the very juiciest and plumpest I could find. I'm off for school, said Sarah Sue, for I have changed my mind. And then the pictures, I did someone holding a worm. And then I just drew a worm in the garden. And then the poem I did is a lacrustic poem of Marco Island. My family goes on vacation, arriving at the Seawinds condo, renting a car from Dollar, collecting shells in the morning, ordering seafood jambalaya. Ice cream every night for dessert, skimboarding on the sand, leaping the waves, always at Joey's Pizza, nachos for dinner at Nacho Mama's, digging a big hole on the beach. And then my pictures of it. Marco Island Welcome and Me by Jambalaya. And then this is me for the Seawinds condo. I did a picture of the Seawinds condo. And then that's me digging a hole. And that's Cold Stone because I ate ice cream. And then that is my family on vacation. And that's the Seaworms thing. And then that's me at Nacho Mama's, and then that's for the car at Dollar, and then that's shells and Breach, and then this is me at Joey's Pizza this time, and that's me skimboarding. And that's my presentation.
I did my poem book that I did was The World's Greatest Poems by J. Patrick Lewis. And the poem that I did was The Longest Time a Human Remains Standing. And before I do this and before I present my poster, the longest time the person remained standing was 14 years, and it's true. And here it is. A plank was where I learned to sleep. Years later, I remember it. Day by day, bit by bit, I had forgotten how to sit. Time took its time, internal sweep of sun across the land, of sun and stars across the land. I went without a helping hand until I let myself on stand. And the poem that I did by myself was Carnival by me. C, carnival is fun. A, always a good time. R, rides are cool. N, never boring. I, incredible food. V, very yummy. A, amazing arcade. And L, lots of prizes. And that's my presentation.
For my book talk, I did A Pizza the Size of the Sun by Jack Prelutsky. And my poem was A Teenage Hippopotamus. A teenage hippopotamus is living overhead. I hear him every morning when he bumbles out of bed. He crashes through his living room and makes my ceiling shake. That teenage hippopotamus is louder than a train. He loves to blast his radio. It's driving me insane. He keeps it on around the clock. It blares and blares and blares. I'm moving to the place next door where the lines are upstairs. And for my picture, I did a hippopotamus and a radio that's playing. Now for the poem I did by myself, I did about my dog Kaiser, Barney. Kind, awesome, is the best dog ever. Super, eats a lot, rocks. Then I did my dog a bowl of food and a heart with his name inside it. That's my presentation.
I read the book My America, a Poetry Atlas of the United States, and I tried to make the title like the title was in the book. And the book was by Lee Bennett Hopkins, and the poster was obviously by me. And the poem I chose was Wisconsin in February. Burr, 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 burr. Burr, 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 rough, puff, puff, rough, tough, enough of February. And the poem that I wrote was an acrostic poem, and it was the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings rule was for V. I is I'm impressed because they did good, and the K is cripes, 4 times, no wins, which you'll hear about later. And the I again is that the Vikings, I've never seen them smoke Green Bay that badly. The N is gnarly are the awesome Minnesota Vikings, and the G is G. I can't believe the Vikings have been to the Super Bowl 4 times and lost all of them, which is this one, kind of. And S is sometime we'll win the Super Bowl, and that's just a picture of a football. And that's my poster.
I read Monster Goose by Judy Sierra, and my poem was Pirate Pete. Pirate Pete and Pete's Pie Shark prowl the ocean after dark, sailing north, sailing south. The shark up front with an open mouth. Headed by electric eels, they search for upsetting meals. So when you take a midnight dip, please keep an eye out for Pete's ship. These are all stingrays. And this is a shark. That is Pete's ship, and that's Pete's hat. I did a acrostic poem, and my poem was monsters. Monster. Mysterious, outrageous, nasty, sinister, terrifying, eerie, and ravenous.